The Post-Secondary Education Rehabilitation Transition Program, commonly known as PERT, is an interagency transition program jointly funded and administered by the Departments of Education and Rehabilitative Services. PERT offers a variety of assessment services for high school students to assist in their preparation and transition to successful employment and independent living outcomes.
The PERT program helps students answer questions such as, what are my talents? What's out there for me? What are my interests? What type of jobs might I enjoy? What skills do I need to become employed and live independently in my community? It is the mission of PERT to offer young adults with disabilities the opportunity to maximize their education, career development, employment, and independent living outcomes through Woodrow Wilson Rehabilitation Center services by discovering their individual strengths and abilities, planning for their transition needs, and facilitating a continuum of transition services. These services are provided in partnership with families, Department of Education, Department of Rehabilitative Services, and community stakeholders. The Woodrow Wilson Rehabilitation Center is located in the Shenandoah Valley, surrounded by the Blue Ridge Mountains. The center is easily accessible from two nearby interstates, Interstate 64 and Interstate 81. Over 80% of Virginia's school divisions participate in PERT. These divisions may refer students receiving special education or with current 504 plans to an interagency team representing Woodrow Wilson, Department of Rehabilitative Services, and the local school division for review. Typically, these students have limited exposure to vocational options and may benefit from comprehensive vocational, medical, and independent living skill evaluations in a residential setting.
A critical component of the PERT process is the formation and operation of the PERT team within each participating local education agency. The team is comprised of representatives from special education, vocational education, rehabilitative services, and PERT. It is the responsibility of the school division's representative to generate interest in PERT, refer students who meet the selection guidelines, participate in the selection process by coordinating and attending meetings, maintain communication with the PERT team, and provide information as needed. They may help arrange transportation to Woodrow Wilson Rehabilitation Center and assist with implementation once the student has returned to the community.
The local Department of Rehabilitative Services counselor will participate in student selection, help provide needed information to PERT staff, participate in parent-student orientation, and determine a student's eligibility for services. It is the Department of Rehabilitative Services counselor who refers the student to PERT for the services recommended by the PERT team. The counselor maintains communication with other members of the PERT team, may assist in planning transportation, and participates in the report implementation once the evaluation piece is complete. A PERT Transition Resource Specialist facilitates orientation, selection, prep visits, report implementation, and monitoring. This person is the liaison between PERT, Woodrow Wilson Rehabilitation Center, the school division, the Department of Rehabilitative Services, students, and parents. The on-site counselor is responsible for student case management, scheduling, coordination, and provision of all PERT initial evaluation services while the student is in residence. The on-site counselor consults with the field counselor and other members of the PERT team as needed. Some of the guidelines the team considers when making student selection are IQ of 60 or higher, ability of the student to adapt to the center's residential environment, student maturity, ability to benefit from PERT participation, commitment of the PERT team to implementing the evaluation recommendations, and compliance with the Woodrow Wilson Rehabilitation Center's admission criteria. The Candidate Admission Review Panel, also called CARP, may refer candidates who do not meet the guidelines for consideration. The purpose is to screen the student into the process by anticipating his or her needs and then planning accordingly. The panel will determine the student's ability to benefit from the center services and his or her ability to interact successfully in the evening environment.
A student may have the opportunity to attend Woodrow Wilson Rehabilitation Center as a youth in transition, even if their school division is not an established PERT site. Students are transported to the center at the expense of the school division. Students arrive by bus, van, car, and parents may transport their student.
The selection process begins with an orientation meeting where potential participants learn about the program by viewing a video, hearing an oral presentation by PERT staff, and asking questions. Students who are selected by the team will attend an orientation meeting with their parent and a prep meeting before coming to the PERT program.
Upon arrival, students report to admissions. PERT staff will be there to greet them. An initial interview is conducted to verify information and identify concerns such as homesickness. Students with medication meet with a nurse from Student Health. A tour is provided as part of the on-site orientation.
Through the PERT experience, there are three primary areas of exploration and assessment: vocational evaluation, independent living skills, and recreation leisure assessment. Some students will also receive ancillary medical evaluations depending on the referral. Through vocational evaluation services, students explore different types of jobs using hands-on work sample activities and a variety of career exploration tools.
During the Independent Living Skills Assessment, students participate in activities to determine current functional living skills. Recommendations for further growth and development are made.
Students are assessed on leisure and social skills during the recreation assessment. Through the dormitory living experience, students are given an opportunity to learn and participate living on their own in a semi-independent setting.
Students also have access to ancillary screenings and evaluations in the areas of speech and language, occupational and physical therapy, hearing, assistive technology, and computer accommodations. These screenings and evaluations are conducted by licensed, registered therapists on an as-needed basis as determined by the PERT team. These ancillary evaluations and screenings help identify concerns impacting vocational decision-making and may lead to a formal assessment in an area.
During the late afternoon, evening, and weekend hours, PERT students participate in the leisure and social skills assessment. Students may choose from multiple recreation activities available at the center. These activities include indoor and outdoor sports, socializing in the lounge, arts and craft activities, table games, and movies. There are also trips into the local community.
A unique aspect of the PERT program is dormitory living in a semi-supervised, independent residential environment. Students are expected to get themselves up in the morning, follow a daily schedule, and be on time for all activities. They are responsible for cleaning their rooms and doing laundry with assistance if necessary.
For students with more complex medical needs, the short-term rehabilitation unit may be considered. On the short-term rehabilitation unit, a student will receive assistance with daily routines such as hygiene, medication, and dressing.
Programming for the initial evaluation students is highly structured. Supervision is provided around the clock. Except for meal times, students are in class or in group discussions with their counselors from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. every weekday. From 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., PERT recreational staff is on campus. The local school division may elect to send lesson plans and homework for students to complete while they are attending the PERT program. When requested by the team, homework and assistance with that work can be incorporated into the student's daily routine while at the center. During the weekend hours, structured activities are planned. Leisure and social skills are assessed from 3 p.m. through 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday.
It is the goal of Woodrow Wilson and PERT to provide a place for students to learn, live, and work together so they can achieve their goals. Each student is expected to respect others, display appropriate relationship conduct, remain in designated areas, respect personal space, and avoid horseplay. Possession of weapons or controlled substances is not tolerated. Students are expected to refrain from swearing, vulgar gestures, and destroying property. Behavior expectations are discussed with students prior to their arrival and reinforced during orientation activities.
Uniformed security staff are on duty at all times for student safety and well-being. Staff and students are required to wear visible name tags at all times. Video surveillance units continuously monitor the public areas of the campus.
The experience at Woodrow Wilson Rehabilitation Center, PERT, is often the first time a student has been away from home for an extended period. PERT staff monitor students for homesickness. Students are provided support and encouragement when this is identified. However, there are times when it is in the best interest of the student to postpone their PERT experience.
While all medication is kept in student health, parents and personnel from student health will determine if a student is responsible and knowledgeable in taking his or her medication. Student health is available when assistance is necessary. Students are instructed to bring any current medication for their entire stay. Medication must be in the original bottle with the dosage label on the bottle. Student health services is available at all times for students. A nurse may assess medical concerns at any time. The PERT experience does not end at Woodrow Wilson. After students return home, the transition process continues. A written report containing center recommendations is sent to the school, parents, and the Department of Rehabilitative Services counselor. The PERT team meets with the student and parents to discuss the report. The information is used to develop the individual education plan transition goals. The goals may include academic enrichment, vocational training, or other support services as appropriate to work towards career, independent living, and recreation leisure goals.
My son is now willing to participate in meetings that talk about his future. Before PERT, I had to drag him out to meetings because he was so shy.
My daughter is much more confident since her participation in the PERT program. Her confidence has enabled her to train and work out in the community.
After the report implementation, PERT staff continues to monitor student progress through graduation. They provide follow-up technical assistance and consultation to the local PERT teams. Every year, this unique program provides services for over 500 students throughout the Commonwealth.
PERT, a gateway experience to post-secondary life for Virginia students.